Hello everybody, back again. Another week did fly, and today we are back with a live stream each Thursday, 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock Central European time. So this is the time from the Netherlands, Amsterdam, I think also Paris, and yeah, you always can watch back this live stream in the playlist live streams. So there are many inside of them. Some of the live streams I copy also over to the product. So for instance, if you raw kick, there's a live stream which is a very long one, together with Freek introducing the raw kick and telling about it, because Freek was also involved in this project. So today I don't have really a subject, and so I called it Painting Sounds with Rob. And I did run in this preset here from Predator 2. It's called Magic Livestream. So most likely it's one of the presets that arise on a live stream. And I think it's inside the factory patches. And you see the XY pad here does a movement. And if you see plays on and edit this on, so you can edit it. So if you put off the edit, it makes that it's not visible anymore. And editing the XY screen you do down here. So Predator 2 is a very, very deep synthesizer, although I must admit that if you are a bit into synthesis, Predator 2 is still very good to understand, because mainly you have this big screen here where you have these 3 oscillators, and then we have 2 filters, and if the filter 2 is not active, if it's by, then it shows this here as a, okay, it should light up. It doesn't light up here, so that could be a bug. The 2 should light up because then the second filter is active. So you see the light color on number 1 here, and the filter 2 has a slight gray color, which should be not the case because it's active. It's so 2 filters are bought. There's a filter LFO which you can address to the filter. Then there is the amp envelope. So in the synthesizer part, it's mainly up here where the sound engine is. So here's an additional high pass filter, and so in fact, if you would use filter 1, filter 2, and the high pass filter, you are having 3 filters active in one patch. And we added the high pass filter because sometimes you have 2 filters combined and you still want to have a bit of low end removed, or want to use an additional filter for changing the sound. So that's the reason why the high pass filter is inside Predator 2. In the original Predator, you don't see this high pass filter, so that's a new one compared to the original Predator 1.6. Then of course we have the play mode, how the synthesizer plays. So the play mode now is polyphonic, so you can play 16 voices. Then there is this chord memory here, and down here we have the effects. So you can stay already quite up here and only this page, and then yeah, down here in the middle lower section you have then the additional pages, so modulation matrix, where you can set your chord, and an additional EQ. A very nice EQ is inside Predator 2. The arpeggiator can be controlled here, and of course the XY, which you can hear now. So what the XY does is it controls the morphing of oscillator 1, and it changes the semitone of oscillator 1. And if I go over this dial here, that's the amount control. In the upper section you can see that the readout will does tell in the upper section. So go to the upper section, you see plus 12 semi. So this whole movement of the XY, which is on the left side, is up down. So let's shut down oscillator 2. We only hear oscillator 1. So this does this really typical tone. But it does more. So if I double click, by the way, here it goes to 0, and of course I had the plus 12. Okay, let's go back to plus 12. I can't even make it plus 24. Let's see. So I'll go now plus 24. And if I press bypass, you see what this XY does. And it has a time quantize. Let's see if I put that one off. Then it's a steady pitch glide, but the time quantize chops it up. So that makes it interesting. And then there is also this morphing. Let's see what this morphing does. You hear it? It goes from, it modulates from here to here. So it goes in this wave set from 1 to 8, which you can see here. User waves, it's 1 to 8. It scrolls through these waves using the XY. So morph 1 is this style. And so it goes from this to this one. Automated, so I bypass now. So now it's of course a bit extremer. So let's go back to the original, and then of course I have this. So the second oscillator, I see this oscillator filter goes into, we see here the output filter 1 plus filter 2, and I go here to filter 1, filter 2. Filter 2 is in split 1 mode. So this makes that, to my opinion, that the oscillator 1 goes into filter 1 and oscillator 2 goes into filter 2. You see, so this is filter 2. You see there, there's also panning amount, which I'm close, because if I open the panning amount, it goes left-right. So then 2 goes to the right, and that's not so nice. So you have then oscillator 1 and 2 left-right panned, and I don't want to have this. I really want to have a split mode of the filters. So oscillator 1 goes to filter 1 and oscillator 2 goes to. So it's almost, yeah, essentially it's a layer, because this oscillator 2, it's a square waveform, has a symmetry modulation. And so here, this you see, you can have filter 2 different filter types, and from the original Predator we have the split 1 and split 2, and split 2, I was wrong. Split 2 makes that the oscillator 1 goes into oscillator filter 1, oscillator 2 goes in filter 2, and then oscillator 3 goes to both. So now split 2, you hear that oscillator 2 is on the right and oscillator 1 is on the left. That is split 2. Split 2 really makes it also stereo splitting. And split 1 makes that, so I was wrong with this preset. Split 1 makes that all the 3 oscillators go to filter 1 and filter 2, so parallel, but both can have different filter types. So in this case, filter 1 has a bandpass filter and filter 1 has a different bandpass filter with a different setting. So yeah, I was diving into this preset, and if you guys have any question, let me know. So here you can see in the XY, I did a few things. You have almost space quantize. It's a bit like the you need more poise. Yeah, you can do some wild stuff with the original Predator. So this was a preset which I saw. By the way, this shows the output. If you have nothing selected here, so if everything is gone, then you have the output from the oscillator shown. Or you can click for the static waveforms. So if I go here back to XY and shut down. Okay. And let's see how that now sounds in the oscilloscope. You see now, you see the filter morphing. Maybe it's a bit, should I take a different filter type? Let's take a filter bypass. So this is wave 1 until 8. Very minimal difference I notice. Yeah, maybe we should go to a different preset to show more how this works. Let's go to, let's see if we can find a nice preset for this. Okay, here we can hear some wave changes. I think it's the XY. Changes morph 1. Okay, let's see. Between user 1 and user 2. So these are using 2 waveforms. So if I click here, nothing is selected here, then you can see this is the output of the oscillator, or I can show the waveform static. Okay, let's see if I can show it static. I do bypass this movement from the XY. So now you see user 1 is on the left side and wave user 2 is on the right side. And if I go here down to the user waves, of course I can user wave 2, I can change here. Essentially very nice sound now just by moving here the second waveform. Of course there are more waveforms, but they are not used in this preset. I only use 2 user waveforms, and if I click here, nothing selected here, then you see it's more bellish. And of course, we have different waves to move from user wave to user wave. You can morph, which is, or you can say interpolate. Or morph the lower harmonics. Or morph the upper harmonics. So yeah, the ring modulation, then the waveforms do ring modulate each other. Or frequency modulation each other. Phase modulation. So it's up to you what you use, combine. This is an interesting one. So you can use them now, for instance, digital in live mode. You could use, so if I go to the XY, I can morph 1, I can say, okay, use the X movement for the morphing. So the movement X is to the right. And of course, I also could use an envelope, which is also possible. Double click brings this one to 0. You have many envelopes. here I have envelope 1. I could say, okay, use this one to morph. Then of course here by the up down you can select which one is most nice. Mix. But in the lower end it's almost like a piano. So yeah, this is not bad. I should really save this one. And this is still using one oscillator. So I'm simply moving between user wave 1 and user wave 2. That's what I'm doing. And now I use the free envelope 1 here. It's addressed to morph 1 to make this sound change. This one sounds even good. It has only a chorus. I can put off the chorus. So I even could save this one with a single oscillator, I think. Let's see, we don't have... Oh, unison 2 is up. Yeah, that's of course active. This is without the unison. That one made it nice, so a detune. Detuning. You could add some velocity. So that's a nice sound. I think I like it. And so it's only one oscillator that uses unison 2, so it still sounds then essentially it's a 2 voice for each note. It uses a low pass filter, I can see. So let's save this one, and then I do here save preset in folder, and then I go to in this case the ROP folder. That's the folder you don't have. It's I created my own personal folder, and it sounds a bit like a synth clavier. Okay, so I saved this one as a synth clavier. Of course, I must not forget to tag this preset, but I see it's pretty much okay. Polyphonic mode, long release, that's right. Modulation wheel changes the timbre. Let's see if that happens. Yes, indeed, the modulation wheel adds the high pass filter I can hear. Most likely it's done here inside the EC modulation wheel addressed to the high pass filter. Yeah, it's a bit like a 80s PPE Tangerine Dream type sound. I agree, that has a little bit this character. So I saved this one. I will make it available in the info section. Sometimes it takes a bit longer time because last week I also uploaded the presets and then I checked again and then again they were gone. So the info section seems to be sometimes a bit different. Okay, so that is the synth clavier. I press save. Okay, let's go to the chat room. So maybe somebody has a question or would like to try out something about a particular product. I have really a particular thing for today. So if you have an idea, let me know. So I was talking about Predator 2. I was here in the morphing spot. That's also the reason why Predator is pretty high in height. And you see these oscillators are very high because of this morphing. And for instance, in the synth leads, I use this morphing to have the feedback from a guitar, you know. now you see the XY moves from left to right, so that's the movement. And it's using morph 1. When morph 1 goes from a square to user 1, which is, I think, essentially, let's see what the user 1 is. Yeah, it's this waveform. So it stays pretty for a particular time. It stays here on the it stays on the square because it starts on the left, but the movement starts positive. So this is the 0, and there from that point on it starts going to this this user 1 waveform. So you see this little dot. That's a bit of a kind of feedback sound added by using the XY pad and by using morphing between two waveforms. And okay, if you would have here a different one, and it morphs to a saw waveform. Let's see if I have another one. Sinus. And also here you can pick different types of, so I have a user wave now and user wave 1. You can pick different types of morphing. This is the real morphing. The first one I used was mix. That sounded a bit more smoother for this sound. So now mix is a bit more smoother going from this square to this user wave. Oh, okay. I was trying to recreate the raw brought up fat bass. Oh, yeah. I need to know this track, of course. Yeah, it's that's hard if I don't know the track. Sometimes you can't find easily back this sound. Depends where it's made from. If they use distortion, that's always a bigger problem because distortion changes the sound so much. If you go to EDM and dance, and I go to let's see, so TB303 type of stuff. Let's see if I have that one here. That's a dirty sound, but not the. Let's see. It's not really distortion in this one, I think. The notch filter makes this a bit dirty. Of course, here I could pick a fuzz or so. So here, when you hear what the fuzz does, it's really very extreme. So this is more cleaner. Then you throw it through the fuzz. Nice. Dirty. Of course, you can increase the tempo twice. I'm not sure. Normal tempo. Speed twice. Let's see how that works. No, not so good. Yeah, here we see the sequence, and that one is also playing joints because that's sequence ARP A, ARP B, and you can join them together. This is ARP A. He added now. He can add it ARP A or ARP B. Now I put in the harp by filter. Let's see how this plays with the groove. Now it's totally different. I put down the first. Yeah, it's a totally different sound when I open it first. Okay, I saved this one also, and then I will call this one save in folder. Okay, then I go again back to the the ROP folder. Okay, there I will save it. I call it TB dirty. Oops, wrong buttons. Dirty cut off. And then I mean this dirty cutoff of filter 1, of course. So I will make this one also that you can download it. And it's dirty, and okay, yeah, Mr. Root Music. Oh yeah, by the way, I like to mention he has a very nice page about Cubase and how you can use Cubase and have some good templates. Maybe he can share his YouTube channel here on in the chat room. And Mr. Root Music, he's asking, can you set up the envelope at every sequencer step? Well, there is a free row which you can use to control, for instance, the decay. But then you need to connect this inside the envelope. You see here the free row is controlled for the high pass filter and this preset. But I could use it here. Oh, here it's also used for the morphing, although that one doesn't do anything. Okay, so here I could say decay, amp section, and then the amp decay. So the free row controls now. Let's play only one. I only play ARP A. save this one also as an example. Save preset as TB dirty, and this one I called envelope, or let's say decay control. So I say this one also decay control. You see here the free row controls now the decay of the amp section, and of course you could also control the release, and this feature Jamal regularly uses, and it's very nice. Then the sequencer gets a bit more different feel to it because each step is different in length. Go to modulation matrix, I can have here bypass, then you hear the difference. So this now without the free row not controlling the amp decay. So now I click bypass on, put it off. Yeah, about the arpeggiator, yeah, you can clear a row. Let's see, if I'm not wrong, this should be possible. We have here commands. And let's see, reset up. Oh no, it does reset the whole arpeggiator, I think. Let's see, right mouse button. Okay, up command. Now you can copy and that kind of stuff, but I don't see that you only can clear free row. That would be an interesting idea, by the way, for an update. So that you can say, okay, clear free row or clear velocity row. Of course, you can save a sequence. So if you have the sequence with command, you can save. You don't see it, I think, on your screen, but down here is also save up preset. Another cool feature is, of course, that you can use the lock feature. So I go up here, I pick lock on, and then I can go to the next preset. Of course, the presets are not that interesting, but you see. So that's the okay, let's go back to the presets here again. Where was I? So you can use this lock mode to, if you have a nice sequence, to go to a different preset. So okay, so let's see. Yeah, I will be interesting to hear these sounds. So Mr. Wood, please email. That will be cool. Automation to the ARP. Yeah, that's a good one. Of course, not everything can be automated. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think the swing, slide, but I'm not sure if the single steps can be automated, or that you could say. Let's see. I could try it out here with read automation and write automation. If I can select here by automation the sequencer from A to B. Let's see. Okay. So let's see if that works out. I'm not sure where I played it or if it did record. Oh, I must record it, of course. Okay. Recording now. 1 second. it's messing with me. I thought I was recording. Sorry, guys. Must be me, my age. Let's press record and let's go. No, it doesn't seem to do it, so let's see what, let's play it back. Oh, okay. I see it popping up here. I'm not sure. Let's get green is for. Yeah, it pops here in my list. You can see it here. Here is the automation, but I'm not sure what happens here. So yeah, that's something I need to test out. Cancel. I'm not saving this song. Of course, the other parameters all can be recorded, but with the up, I'm not sure about if everything can be automated. What we did, of course, if you have the ARP, for instance, compared to Sublime Base 2, we did some different stuff. There we have, for instance, the option to have the upper nodes to select which sequence is playing, or more split modes. But that's, of course, a different product with Sublime Base 2. The values, automate the values of the ARP. That's a good one. I still can try. Let's give it a try. So I remove this automation. Let's see how that works out. I go again to recording the automation. Let's see what happens. I have no idea. Let's see. Put off the writing. So we should see things change here. Yeah. You can see it. So that's possible. It's possible. Yeah, I think it's automatable because if you have the complete control, you also can adjust the tuning of the steps. So I think most of the parameters are automatable. I'm not sure about particular ones, but yeah, you see these, for instance, they work nice. That's of course also something you can do in the other material we have, especially for the creative people. This is it's great to have this. So I was mentioning Sublime Base 2. When I go add track, Sublime Base 2. So here, for instance, with the sequencer, this is not an arpeggiator, but then you have the pattern mode where you can play pattern, but also have top selection. Then the upper notes you can use to select which pattern is playing. Pattern, then it follows the pattern. Split A, B, A, D. So that's really, let's see if I have an example somewhere in the sequence presets. Split 4. Let's see what happens here. So that's 4 splits. So here we see he can, okay, let's go shut down Predator in the background. So sub-on base 2, you have the sequencer. First octave triggers sequence A, you see it light up here. Second octave is sequence B. Third octave is sequence C. And the fourth octave is D. So this, if you would make then a groove, okay. So that's really making some cool features. This one uses pattern. So you go to the pattern page, that's down here, plays A, then plays B, A, so each A, B. So that's so in sub-on base 2 there are a lot of features with sequence what you can do so that it doesn't have to be repeatable each time the same way. Okay, of course, Jamal has some brilliant stuff on this subject. Let's see. No, we need to have one with sequence A only. Let's see. I think he also has a pattern this one. So A and B. No, I think there should be more. So now sequence A is playing. Let's see sequence B. So it doesn't have anything. So what you could do here, if you go to the command, is copy sequence, that's the current one, A to, and here do paste sequence. So B and A are the same now, but then you can edit B and make it a bit different. So let's see if I pick split A, B. I think that one is then 2 octaves A and 2 octaves B, if I'm not wrong. A, B. So with split A, B, you have 4 octaves, but the first 2 octaves are then sequence A, second octave. So there are many options in sub-on base 2 in terms of doing things with the sequencer. And that makes, by the way, sub-on base 2 very interesting because of these sequences. It's beyond being a regular bass synthesizer. You can do far more with that than so if I go to bass presets, then of course you have some classic Moog bass. really deep sub basses. And you see, sometimes you don't even have FX. So this one, if you put this one like a sub boosty, you really have a low end, which is more feeling than that you can hear it. So one note. Really a tuned sub bass. Sure, sub bass is sure for weird percussion stuff. Yeah, the 808 is also inside of it. Let's see where it is. Somewhere should be. Okay. I need to check that one. Somewhere it should be. A tuned 808 should be inside of it. Okay. Well, this is not a tuned 808, but it's definitely one of the most popular presets in the sub bass. So it even uses a bit of distortion. So it's very popular. I think this is one of the most popular in the introduction bank, of course, a deep welcome. I think that one is detuned 808. Yes, it uses a widener. So yeah, then we have, of course, in sub bass 2 this string model. That's very nice. Yeah, and now the percussion here is tuned, so if you... The attack of this sound is created by using a tube. So this is oscillator 2. This is for the... and then for the body... So you really have the attack of an acoustic instrument with a synth, and that's the combination of what makes sub bass so powerful. You also can have tuned percussion, weird instruments, and combine them in a very new sounding bass. Cajon. It's more classic bass. And the low end is really fantastic. So if you really seek for a deep bass, sub bass 2 is really the choice. Well, let's see what the chat room is telling. Well, it's not really a somebody is asking if there's also in sub bass 2 more than only bass drums. Well, there are some other sounds on board, but it's not a drum machine. It's for really for having a good bass sound, and it's it's not only popular in the urban area, but there are also house producers which use sub-boom bass a lot. Even film producers. I know this Harry Williams used sub-boom bass too, for instance, for these very low rumbles. So if you go to sub presets, let me show you the Abyss. These things, you know, with if a big thing is happening. Oh, he has a sub-tuned kick. This one has more on attack, so if you have a beat. So really it has a very solid low end. You only need to put it in, and there's nothing, you don't need any additional EQ to get the low end great. It's simply there. It's just like a Minimoog, it's simply there. Yeah, definitely, sure. I mean, Tim and Rob, the very famous producers in America, they produce a lot of tracks, artists. Tim and Rob, I think he oops, sorry guys for this. So let's go to I show you. Well, here's Tim and Rob. Tim Kelly and Bob Robinson, they did Usher, Grammy Award guys, R&B, hip hop, and they use sub-boom bass all the time. Yeah, it's huge in this scene. But not only in the urban type of music area. It's because, yeah, if you say, okay, I want a classic house or different type. So there are many presets on board, and yeah, it's really a cool, very popular machine. But of course, I was stuck with the sequence and telling about what you can do with the sequencer inside sub-boom bass 2, which has with this part here the different options. So if you like a certain groove, yeah, well, you can expand with this preset. So if you have, let's say, Wood Town here. And you see it has pattern, and you click here to pattern, goes to B. And you can change it, so add it, make more variations, and it's having a wave sequencing. So if I, you see oscillator 1 and oscillator 2, you can have a different waveform on each step. So this is something you don't need to automate. It's simply there that you want to have on step 8, for instance, with the first oscillator off, or that you say, okay, I picked there a auto sample. Of course, it should be playing sequence A. You hear that? This is different now. Maybe the wrong note. Let's take 9. Now it's plays a tuba. I can still tune it or bring it down. Of course, then if no waveform is selected, it takes, of course, the one which is up here. So that is the bass. So if nothing is selected on this step, it takes the basic waveform which is already in the oscillator. So I can change that also. And the cool thing is also sub-boom bass has a sub-oscillator, but even the sub-oscillator works even on these samples. So this is the Rob box, is a wooden box. Here it is, tack, tack, tack. That's this wooden box. Let's make it. And even below this box I can have a sub-oscillator. Spring drum. So yeah, it's a very creative machine, this sub-boom bass 2. It's so I'm just playing around today, guys. We went from Predator 2 to sub-boom bass 2, talked about sequences, and yeah, I'm diving into it. And you see now that sub-boom bass 2 is indeed also a wave sequence type of machine, and sequence A is now playing. Now I could copy this copy this sequence, go to sequence B and paste this sequence. So sequence B is the same, and do here something different. And here also we have a free row, and the free row we can use to also again to control, for instance, the decay of the sound. For this you need to go to the modulation matrix, pick here the sequencer free row, destination, the amplifier decay, and then amount control. I pull down the sustain. So here there's now a different groove than sequence A. Sequence A. Change the free row so the decay is different. So now I could say, okay, let's split A, B. So I could have then down here A playing and up here B. Let's see if it's tuned. So Predator 2 is playing a bit of a sequence sound to make it a bit, here it is. Okay, let's play it again. And here we have again sub-boom bass 2. So you can do some very cool stuff with sub-boom bass 2, and it's a matter of playing around a bit with it. I'm not sure if I made a tutorial about the sequence, or maybe I talk about it in the tutorial. Yeah, you can have fun for hours only with sub-boom bass 2, guys. And you heard also now, by the way, punch. We work on punch 2 now. This one is the classic. Clap 1. Oh, it's a good clap 2. Let's see, clap 2. Which is synthesis. So this is clap 2, which is synthesis. We can change. Instead of clap 1, which is essentially a sample of, I think, the 808. So this is the classic one. Also, this one you can change if you want. So it's a bit filtered with a notch filter. But the original classic one is the 808. And of course, you saw here the notch filter. Made a bit of nice sound to it. But you can make it shorter. But still, it remains a sample. And with the clap 2, which is synthesis, you have far more freedom. Of course, it depends on your music style. So here we're back with clap 2. And of course, you can hear the stereo. So this is mono. Spread makes it left, right, and you can use an offset. And you can really tune it to your song. So that's the cool thing about Punch. It's really the combination. If you want to use samples, you can use samples. But if you want to tweak around, create your own drum synthesizer sounds, that's possible by Punch. And we work very hard on Punch too. Maybe next week, guys, I can show you already a bit of the user screen, what will be new of Punch 2, which will be released hopefully at the end of next week. So I'm checking here on the right side. Oh, guys, I flew over already 1 hour. It flies, isn't it? Oh, that's a cool sound. Emmergeluid. Yeah, the Emmergeluid. Yeah, we will discuss that next time. I wanted to do anyhow for Headbrinds, which is maybe someday that I create the fully Aurora track by using, for instance, BIT from scratch. Then I need to play first into the sequence, and then I will create each sound by using this synthesizer. That will be maybe an interesting idea. It would not sound 100% the same, but I can give it a try, of course, and it would be fun to do. And so yeah, guys, I hope you liked it. Next week we are back again, Thursday, same time, and as mentioned, you always can watch it back in the playlist live stream if you are simply in a different time zone. Don't forget to like this video, maybe share it if you like the live streams, and hope to see you next time, and keep well, guys. Bye.